everybody. So I was just getting ready to do some stretching and mobility, so I figured that I'd pop on here and give you guys a little demo of a great hip flexor mobility and stretching routine that I like to do. So to start, put your legs kind of in the butterfly position. You'll take one leg and flip it down, so you'll kind of be in a little Z position here. Then you're going to rock side to side. Now feel free to do, this is a multiple part mobility routine, so feel free to stick to any part that feels good. So you'll rotate back side to side. Now once your hips feel a little loose, you'll pop up onto your knees and then rotate back to the other side. Pop up onto your knees. So you'll do this again however many times you want to do. Now, once your hips start to feel loosened up from this, we'll move on to the next part. So for the next part, you'll pop up onto your knees, take the back leg, and lunge forward. Come back down onto your knees. Whoops, don't lose your balance like I did. And switch to the other side. Pop up onto your knees, lunge forward, and back down. Okay? So you'll do this however many times you feel you need. And then we have one more part to this series. So, I'm gonna back up just a little bit here. So, pop up onto your knees, go into your lunge. After your lunge, you're gonna come into a deep squat. Take your elbows and push your knees out. You'll come back to your lunge and back down again. Rotate to the other side. Pop up on your knees, into your deep lunge. Come into your deep squat. Push your elbows out, back down, and around. So, let me come a little bit closer. So, the deep squat, you'll do your lunge, come into a deep squat like this, and push out. Go back into your lunge, and drop down on your knees. Okay? So that's a great hip flexor mobility routine that I absolutely adore. Feels wonderful, so you guys should go ahead and try that out, especially if you're doing a lot of sitting or a lot of running or a lot of cycling. It is really great for your hip flexors. So the next one I'm going to show you is just a really great but simple hip flexor stretch. Now, while I do recommend that you do this stretch multiple times a week, even a couple of times a day, I don't recommend that you hold it any longer than 30 seconds. This is a pretty intense stretch for the hip flexors. Holding it longer than 30 seconds can make it feel kind of weak. So just hold it about 30 seconds, but do it in the morning and at night. Do it several times a day or several times a week if you want to. So I'm going to show you the front view and the side view so you make sure that you're doing it correctly. So you'll be on your knees like this. You want your front knee directly over your heel, and you want your back knee directly under your hip. So you're kind of at a right angle for both. You're going to stand up nice and tall, kind of reach up with the crown of your head, shoulders directly over your hips. From here, you'll tuck your pelvis under, and you're going to squeeze your glute. That's it. So the pelvis is tucked, your glute on this side is engaged, and that you're going to start to feel this stretch all the way up and down the leg, totally through the hip flexor. If that doesn't feel challenging enough, number one, try to squeeze your glute a little bit harder. If not, you can reach straight up with the same hand as the leg that you're on your knee. Once this feels good, you can do a stretch to the side a little bit, and come back center and back down. So that's it. So I'm going to show you it to the side. And like I said, you only need to hold this for about 30 seconds. So both legs are at a right angle. Okay, you're going to have a little bit wider of a base if you feel like you can't balance, but this really shouldn't be too hard of a balancing stretch for you. So tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute. There's your basic stretch. Ooh, that feels good. If that's not intense enough, reach your arms straight up in the air. And if you need a little bit more, you can just take the arm and reach over the side. Okay, if you're reaching to the side, come back up center and drop the arm down. and there's your basic hip flexor stretch. So those are two of my favorite hip exercise, or hip mobility and flexibility series. So I thought that you guys would enjoy them and benefit from them. So enjoy. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.